Good morning. I'm going to give a quick tour in sunny San Diego of a Celestial 44 Montana Inkfish. So we've got our anchor windlass. I'll go up on deck and give that a video in a second. Got our dinghies. We are cutter rigged. 2 head sails. I got the main jib removed. I believe it's 110. Just because I didn't need to, we don't use it that often right now, so I didn't want the wear and tear. So our staysail is currently rigged. That's what we generally sail with here in the bay. We made the sail bags from Sailrite. Unfortunately, the top of the zipper is ripped out, so we've got to redo that. And moving back, you can see the cockpit. We do have 3 solar panels. And dinghy davits, that's where our 3rd solar panel is, and our dinghy. And again, looking forward. Okay, up on the bow, I got the 2 roller furlers, and we have a Tigress anchor windlass, and we have room for 2 anchors. Right now I've only got the one. I believe it's a 45 pound. I have to go double check, but it doesn't really matter. Modified the anchor lockers a little bit so we can get in and out of it. You flip that up, lift it, and I have my secondary anchor rod, which is rope on the inside. I had to do this kind of a wacky little adaptation because of the end of the windlass kind of sticks in its way. So I just made these 2 little flaps that fold up. And I also installed the up and down anchor buttons. There's the hatch going down into the V-berth. And I think the previous owner replaced all the air vents with these solar ones. Most of them still work, but a couple of them, the bearings are shot, and so if they're actually running, they make a lot of noise. Moving a little bit aft, I think these handrails are pretty standard on the 44, and you can see some of our woodwork definitely needs some attention. But if you look over on the other side on the tow rail, that is just some teak oil. We sanded it down, put some teak oil on it, and I think they came out fairly nice. They just haven't quite finished this side. Same again on the inside, but all the window hatches, they are aluminum. Some of them have screens, some of them no longer have the screens. At one time, I think it had a self-tacking jib. That's been removed, so I'm probably just going to keep ignoring that little ridge there. And then that's the hatch going down into the port side. On the inside, they've installed the track for the jibs there. And again, moving aft, it's got the cute little prism light. I'll show you it down inside. It does help add some light. Unfortunately, I think due to the teak deck being screwed up from the inside, it tends to leak a little bit. It's very sealed around it right now. Quick view of the cockpit as I go by. We got 2 winches on either side. That's the cockpit. And one of the things that we have definitely considered, they got these deck drains. There's 2 on each side, and they tie together and they go down right off over here on the side. But as you see, we just had rain last night. It does tend to pool out here. So one of the things that we are probably going to do sooner than later is actually put notches in the tow rail about where it puddles up, and put basically scuppers going off the side and eliminate these deck drains, so that those leak points, which that one actually does leak down into one of the closets, I can eliminate that leak point. There's the traveler for the mainsail. There's a hatch going down into the aft berthing. And then the aft part of the boat. We got the two hatches. This one is full of life jackets. These are just storage lockers. And this one we have our propane in it. And then that goes down, so if you can put a rod down through it in emergency tiller. It's been shortened, so it only works on the inside now. I'm not sure I can get to it. I might have too much stuff piled on it. And then of course the traveler for the mizzen. And we are on the starboard aft, about as far as I can get back. Just kind of panning forward. And there she is from the aft corner. And another view of the cockpit and the helm. A couple of lazarettes. There's one on each side. This one actually has the manual bilge pump. And then just a storage locker that I store miscellaneous fuel stuff, fuel filter, some polish, some boat soap, stuff like that. And view from the helm station. There's the other lazarette. And moving forward, obviously I have Ray Marine. There's the binnacle. And something I would recommend if you get the opportunity, yeah, there's my first mate, is that this hatch gets very heavy and a little bit hard to push in. So I installed some, I think they're Teflon stick-on runners. The problem is I can't get all the way to the other end of it. And to pull that hatch all the way off to do it all, it actually comes back here and hits the binnacle. So I couldn't get it all the way off without removing that. So I do have some additional tape. But if you got the binnacle out, I recommend pulling that hatch all the way out and then putting this Teflon stuff on there, because once it gets out under these, it's real easy to close. And now going down inside. And voila. Alright, moving forward up into the V berth. There's a picture of yours truly. So moving up into the V berth, there is a small closet on the port side. On the starboard side going into it is a door going into the forward head. And if I crouch down, sorry, a little bit of a mess. There is storage and drawers, etc. in there. This piece actually comes out. I think I saw that on the other Celestial. Got drawers, hatches, etc. And the V berth itself, it's very full of stuff. That's because we've actually been sleeping up here when we come, just because the aft one has currently been tore apart and we got rid of the mattresses. And we have replaced those with these. These mattresses will go up there. But there's what our V berth looks like. Chain locker is right behind that pillow up there. And the previous owner actually modified it so the chain locker actually goes, there's I think about a 3-inch PVC pipe that goes underneath and goes down. So I've got almost about half my chain. I've got about 275 feet of anchor chain. And we have also tore some of our headliner off. I was trying to run a freshwater pump, or not, excuse me, a saltwater pump from my anchor chain. I successfully did that, but now I've got to get all the headliner back up in there. As we move back just a little bit, still looking forward, one of the cool things previous owner did is these two doors are actually tied together at about the right positions. So you can close the one going up to the V-berth, but if you open them, they're actually tied together, so you don't have to unlatch them every time. It's easy to unlatch, it's just a quick latch. There is the forward head. Sorry for all the slams. There's the forward head. We actually put in, well actually we didn't, previous owner put in a composting toilet, and we actually love it because it did not come, as far as we can tell, with a holding tank. It does have the shower in there. I need to get it replaced because it froze up. And just outside of the forward head, underneath the deck, that's where I put the Anchor wash pump. It's tied to one of the through holes. I think that used to be for the main head. There was the discharge. I'll probably get that through hole removed. And this deck plate used to be one plate. I split it right there so I could get in and out of it without fighting through the doors. Looking out from the forward head, right across from it, there's some drawers, dresser drawers, and what has been configured as what we always call it, the wine locker. Right now I got a little bit of booze in there and some Bang-Aids, but it's just a little storage locker. Heading aft, this is the port side. I think the fuel tanks on that other Celestial are under here. There's the starboard side. Coming down, there's the galley. We actually have two fridges, and this one has a really small freezer compartment. That's what actually provides all the cold, and then there's a small electric fan between the two that blows cold air from this side to this side. And that other Celestial, I don't think there was quite as much depth in here. I think this must go into the engine room farther than the other one did, because I think it was stopped about right here with one inset. Microwave is an add-on from the past. Couple quick storage storage for the galley, and I've got these overheads tore out also because I've been working on all the nav station equipment. There's looking forward from the galley. And coming out of the galley, goes over, don't mind our mess. There's the nav station. I'm going to back up just a little bit and come to this side, because that was a difference that I saw from the other one. There's the ladder coming down, and the previous owner shortened the ladder and turned that into our house bank battery storage. Our water tanks are actually located under here, and you can get to one here, but they go up underneath, both there and up underneath the galley sink. Another look at the nav station. I don't have one of those cool, I think they're Lorans or Lorfran radios, but I do have a VHF and an HF single sideband radio. It's definitely a mess right now. Right underneath the corner of the cockpit, that's where our power station is. I think that's pretty similar. I've installed a couple of monitors, and I replaced some of the AC power. There's another area that is definitely different. This is our fuel tank, one of them. So I'm standing just outside the engine room, looking towards, there's the nav station up there. I got some lockers on the port side here. Little cupboards, more like. Gotta close that one all the way. And here's the top of my port fuel tank. And this holds about 50 gallons, and I can hold about the same size, same in my other locker. And still in the same area, I do have some drawers right outside of the aft berthing. And then I mentioned the little prism that would be up here right above my fuel tank, and you can see it's all those white spots. It's where the screws go up to hold the teak deck down, and that's the prism light. And it tends to leak down through there, but it's not the prism light itself that's leaking. I think it's the deck leaking and then just running in around the prism light. And continuing aft, going into the aft berthing, and I think that other Celestial has this deck pretty much all tore up. And you can see by the discoloring, there's obviously been some water intrusion here also. And coming over on the port side, again looking forward towards the nav station, there's our fuel tank, there's a wet locker, and then the drawers. And then if you look inside, you'll see that drain right there. That is what's the deck drain. It goes down there just a few feet and drains down over the side. As you can see, there's been some water intrusion here, and I'd really like to eliminate that whole thing. Turn it around, here's all the coverings for the forward berthing. And if you spin around to that side, there's one of the chain lockers I think you've been having fun with. I spent about 2 months sealing that all up underneath. So far it seems to be holding pretty good. Those were a main source of water leak. And we actually have a TV mounted back here. This is where we usually sleep. There's, you can't see it, but that's where the emergency tiller comes down through. There's our rudder post, and that board right on top of it will pop out. And there is a pipe right there that's got a square end that will fit down over the top of that rudder post, and it goes up through the deck if you have to, but they've shortened it so it only comes up about 2 feet, so you have to steer it from in here. Alright, and continuing, again, ignore our mess. Here's the aft head. It is buried. This is currently our storage locker, primarily because this head has been disabled. They actually have a previous owner installed an electric head. I've got it disconnected right now. Have not hooked it up at all because I don't have a holding tank. And here in California, you got to have the holding tank or it's got to be disabled. We'll probably eventually put another composting toilet in here. Coming around, looking forward a little bit. We've got a little bit of a vanity. Again, more junk stored. And then moving forward towards the engine compartment. So there's the hatch going into the engine compartment. One of the things that I've recently done is I installed a little magnet here because this just kept swinging in and out. That won't hold it in heavier seas or any seas, but it also has latches top and bottom. But I just needed something to keep it from swinging when it was in port. Hung a little bit of my little new tool bag on the door. Zoomed out about as far as I can, but I'll get a couple more views. There's the engine compartment. It's a Westerbeek 64A. Dual Raycor filters. And all the fuel distribution. And down into the bilge. Alright, I've stepped into the engine compartment. There's the water muffler. We had to replace this hose not too long ago, about 6 months ago. The exhaust goes up and over, all the way back aft, and ultimately out the back end. And there's all the water distribution. Essentially two tanks. There's 4, but they're tied together on each side. And then massive wires. I've ripped out a bunch over the years. A lot of different stuff has been installed. Still an engine room. Looking to the starboard side, that's actually our other fuel tank. There's a water heater, our freshwater pump, and a filter. This is looking forward, right in front of the engine. Going down, all this stuff goes through a couple of little holes there, and all heads forward to the water tanks, kitchen sink, etc. And another quick look from the inside. Walking aft. It looked like the other Celestial may have had a very, very similar table to this one. This has the wings up on it, or at least on one side. And then spin it around real quick, make everybody dizzy. Gonna go up the ladder to outside, and we are Celestial number 2 in 1984. And then the most important part of the whole boat is the wheeling partner.